The Florida Panhandle is reeling from the impact of Hurricane Michael, which left many without homes and jobs. And I know a lot of folks are going to want to help out, and you totally can, but sometimes people's eagerness to give can lead them to doing stuff that isn't necessarily helpful. So, and I've said this before, the best thing you can do for the victims of the storm is to just send them money. And I've heard protests to this. Well, surely they need basic things like soaps and socks. So what if my church just collects that stuff? But by the time your donations actually make it to the victim, they've got their soap and sock situation figured out because they drove to an unaffected area and bought soap and socks with the money people donated. They need to figure out their homeless and jobless situation. I'm not joking. After major hurricanes, it's very common to see shoulder-high mounds of old donated clothes out on the curb in front of churches waiting to be picked up alongside hurricane debris. And I know people say, what's the harm if they use it? I helped, and if not, no problem. But it is a problem, because people have to cart it down there. And someone has to sort through your weird pile of donations to hope they can find something they actually need. And that same person could just be buying stuff they know they need with money. Just go Google the phrase, the second disaster. It's the term relief workers use to describe the influx of weird donations from well-intentioned people that end up being more of a hindrance than a help. So unless you see a group in the area call for specific items, just send them money. For example, the Greater Birmingham Humane Society is calling for donations of specific pet supplies to deal with the influx of refugee animals. So go nuts with the dog and cat donations, but otherwise, just send money. Now, as to who to send money to, the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army are usually on the front lines of disasters like these. And while I haven't personally interacted with them, I've heard good things about Samaritan's Purse. There's also the Florida Disaster Fund. All of these groups are accepting donations that can make a real difference on the ground in the immediate aftermath of the storm. And outside of donations, if you live near the affected area, you may see evacuees in your town. If you do, cut them whatever slack you can. A lot of these folks really weren't planning an out-of-town trip in the middle of October, and some of them straight up can't afford to be doing it. So if you spot them in a restaurant and you can cover their meal, do it. If they're staying in a hotel you work at, see what you can do about cutting them a deal. They don't know what they're returning home to, or if they have a home to return to. You can say a lot of bad things about the South, but that Southern hospitality thing is real, and it's time to let that shine. I'm Jonathan Sobolewski for Reckin.